everyone. This is Becca is Stitching. I'm Becca, and this is Flosstube number 5. I'm filming on February 10th. Flosstube is basically where I'm just going to talk about cross stitch and maybe some other crafting endeavors that I get into. I just want to say welcome if you are new, welcome if you're coming back. I just, appreciate any chance to talk about the hobby that we all love. It's been a weird 2 weeks. We're just muddling through and doing everything we can to take my mind off it a little bit. So I've actually been knitting more than I've been cross stitching, but I've touched a lot of different things. So, I just wanted to say right off the bat that I do treat my audience is people who know cross stitch, know the terms, know everything. If something I'm saying you don't understand, please just reach out to me. I know when I first started, I didn't know what 1, 2, 3 stitch was, and people said it so fast in one breath that I was like, I don't even know what to look up. So if it's not dumb, it's never dumb. Just ask the question in the comment, or if you're a new stitcher, I'm gonna point you over to Cross Stitch the Globe. They A, have an amazing channel. B, they have their Flosstube University series where they go over a ton of the basics, and they are, I think, making those one every 2 weeks or so. So Stephanie and Allison are great, and they have great content. Again, in general, I love watching their videos. So one thing, I got to the end of the video and I realized I forgot to mention, you're seeing a different side of my bookshelf today. So a different side of the fireplace. I finally got Christmas down this past weekend. Yesterday. It was just yesterday. So my table is back on the other side of the kitchen dining room bookshelf area. So I have a window over here now, so I'm hoping that doesn't affect the lighting too much. I still have my secondary lighting up there that I'm hoping will even that out a little bit, but yeah, you get to read some of my other book titles. Back to the rest of the actual video. Let's see. Yeah, mainly knitting and reading, but we will jump into stitching, which is why you're here. So first, I did get a fully finished object. You're gonna get a glare because there's that plasticky, whatever color. It's a very cheap frame. I just wanted something. This is a pattern from the Witchy Stitcher. This is Frosted Pumpkin Cottage. It's on a 18 count slate, I wanna say, Ida, and I didn't make any changes, but it fits super well on the 18 count in this, I think, 8x8 frame, like a perfect square. So it's not perfect. I didn't even really do anything to the back of it, but I popped it in there and it's gonna go on my mantle for the time being. We'll see if I ever replace it out with something different, but I was excited to get that done, get it in the frame. I did it yesterday because I have been promising it for a while now, but brain space hasn't been there to do a great job of fully finishing stuff, so we're just gonna leave it at that. All right, so that's up on the mantle now, and we will get into the rest of my stitching. I haven't finished anything. I did have a new start. So this is from the Emerging Queendom book. The cross stitching in here is done by Maria of Quaternion Creations, and I'll probably pop something up, but I just wanted you guys to see this lovely, lovely book again, and I am doing The Reluctant Sovereign. So I had several picked out. I mean, you can see my little tabs here of ones that I wanted, my husband to choose from to help me pick because I love so many of them. And this was the one he chose. He thinks it would be good in our not crafting, that's my room. In the gaming room, we have both of our gaming PCs set up and we have just a wall of swords hanging up. I'll put a picture up here. So we think this one kind of will fit the general aesthetic of what we're going for that room. We need to paint it and everything, but it'll fit, you know, whenever I get this done. I'm usually not a huge fan of yellow either, but I think it just suits this piece so well. So I did, let me pull up my stats. So I got about 460 stitches into this. I started it yesterday actually, because again, I've been promising new starts and I'm so bad at starting new things. So especially when it's something that I'm kitting up kind of from stash, just because I have to go through all my stuff and pick something, and what if I wanted to use this for something else? And that's kind of why I kind of like to pick things for certain projects. Like I'm buying this piece of fabric for this, and then I don't get that like decision fatigue of like everything that's in my stash. I don't know, mental thing. But that's okay. So I actually used the leftovers from Templar Prophecy, which is something I finished last year. I'll put that up here. It's a 32 count Graceful Gray by Witchell. So it's not a great fabric, don't love it, but I figure for this piece, it's perfectly adequate, and I'm going to leave it in the frame because I've got it like just barely in there to fit in here. So I'm gonna do as much as I can here without taking it out of this frame because I don't want to ruin the edges. So this might stay out for a little while, at least to get as much in this area as I can. And then when I get to a hoop move point, it'll probably go away for a while, but it's only 6,170 stitches. So it's not huge. This is the width of it. And it's a little bit longer than it is wide. But I'm so happy I finally got this started. Maria, if you got the physical book, she offered to send you the PDFs as well. So I was waiting on that for a little bit, but the full delay was my own decision fatigue. But that's okay, I got it started. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat just meowing in the background. Okay, so yeah, so that is the Reluctant Sovereign. And you know what, I'll bring that up a little bit closer so you can see the details in that arch that's starting. I don't have a ton in, but now that it's started, it's so much easier for me to make progress on something. It's so hard for me to just like get that first stitch in, which is why I don't have like 100 projects like some people. Just not the way my brain works. All right, so next we'll switch to what I usually start with, my full coverage designs. So for this first one, I'll put up a picture of what it's going to look like, put a picture of where it was last time. Since my last video, I got in 1,352 stitches. So I'm now at 37.59%. So I'm working in this column right here, and I did get a full column done. And I think I'm like 400 or 500 away from my monthly goal. So I might just crank that out and then switch back to my next project. But I know it's kind of a lot here. Once I finish each of these 100 by 100 blocks, I'll take it out and I'll have that in another video. But I don't like to take these in and out of their frames too much, just so I can pick up and work on it without any issues. But yeah, again, monthly goals, I'll have those up on the screen here. I'm trying to get the regular goal, not the stretch goal. I'm doing 10% for every year that I've had these started, and this is the 4th year that I've had Farewell to Lothlorien on the go. So really, I only need to get to 40%. I just started the year. It's so close in full coverage terms. I didn't even say the name of this. So this is Farewell to Lothlorien. My cat just jumped up behind me in the chair. Farewell to Lothlorien. And I've never said this before because I keep forgetting. This is Max Colors, regular size. Art is by Alexander Vibach, and it was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. But it's coming along. I mean, again, these things take forever, but it's very rewarding when you pull it off the Q-snap or whatever frame you're using. Love it. So next I hit a pretty awesome milestone, whatever, stopping point, I guess, for my next piece. So this is Succubus. Art is by Christopher Lovell, charted by unconventional X-stitch. So I finished my first 100 by 100 block. So we have a little over 10,000 stitches in this piece. So you can see the horn starting, the first horn starting to come in, which is very exciting to get a little bit of something out of this background. I think the next block is gonna be even better. So I'm gonna come over here and do this one next. I just wanted to keep this out of the Q-snap to show it in most of its glory. So since you last saw it, I did 2,444 stitches and it's at 2.78%. Farewell to Lothlorien is 1/128 count. This is 2/125 count pre-grid. Pre-gridded fabric. You know, progress. I actually made it last month. I was like 300 stitches from my stretch goal. So that was kind of exciting and unintentional. All right, next up, this is one of my WIPGO calls for the month. Pop that up here. It's actually the one that's like my least favorite right now, and that's because it's so boring. But I have mentioned before that I'm doing a stocking for all of my family members. I just finished the first one last month, and that's 2 videos ago. Yeah, so I'm at a point in this one where it's just very, very boring. This is for my brother-in-law, and I got quite a bit of progress in. So I finished the entire top boring sea of red, and then I started working in this nice boring bit of sky. This is all half stitches, so the blue is going a lot faster, but this is a Santa's Journey stocking. It's a Dimensions Gold Collection kit. It's coming. I know when I get into the meat of it, it's going to be more fun. It's just, whew. I do not want to pick this up, so it's kind of been, maybe this is why I haven't been stitching as much as I wanted to, because I just like, look at this, I'm like, I don't want to. So maybe this will go away for the next 2 weeks just to work on some other stuff before I pick it up again, but I'm trying to get this done this year, so it does need more progress, but I don't want to take my joy away. It looks so good. Like, I don't know if you can see, but so this right here, the bottom where it's a little bit darker, that is some gold metallic in there, and then there's like a line of gold metallic beneath the yellow here, and there's gonna be some couching and beads along that. It's gonna look great. I just hate it. Hate it right now. I hate it so much. So I did definitely get my WIPGO goal done. I worked on that for more than 3 days. So that's one goal done for that. Going into next, what I went into next and amongst all of that is my temperature stitching. So I'll pop up with this month's like list is, so I do this like very minimally because I like to get a lot of work done on my projects that I pull for whatever time period. But Sundays I will look at the highs for the upcoming week. Whichever the high is, the second digit corresponds to a project. This week, the high, when I checked it, was 60, which means that I pulled up the wheel of all of the projects. So 1 through 9 are individual projects. 0 is like the random wheel. The Tiny Decisions app is what I use. So I put 1 through 9 on that, and then I just randomize whichever one I get. So the one that it pulled for this past week was dragon. So this is Mythical Mare Dragon. It comes with 2 versions. There's a dragon version and a Kelpie version. The Kelpie doesn't have the big wings. But I worked on this for an hour and I got 330 stitches in. This is by Needle-Lot Designs. And I worked on this pattern. Just, it's easy, especially for the temperature stitching, to just pull the thread and go. It's a DMC Variegat, the Coloris or something, however you say it, but it's stitched on 32 count sand by Picture This Plus. And I do like that color with this. My husband and I were like, he suggested I go for like a field guide type look, so it looks kind of parchmenty with that coloring. You know, any little bit of progress is good. This isn't a huge project, so just getting in that like 300 stitches in every once in a while is really gonna get me close to finishing this just within temperature stitching if it keeps getting cold. Or if I just sat down and finished it, I could do it in like a week, but you know, spread the love. Okay, my next temperature piece was 61 was the high for the week, and that was Hobbit House. So this is on 40 count linen by Live and Die LA called On Thin Ice. It's a very light blue. And I definitely worked on this for more than 1 hour because I picked it up and I was like, yep, this is what I want to be stitching right now. I don't want to do anything else. So I got in all of that dark green color. I got the chimney in. I got this like gabled roof right here in, and I got this wheel in. And this is part of the Fabulous Houses series by Cottage Garden Samplings. There's just something that's so relaxing about a Cottage Garden Samplings piece. They're surprisingly dense, so they do take longer than you think they are, but they're just, especially 1/1, there's something about them that is very comforting, for me at least. And like, not easy, but something about it. So I was really excited that this one got called. I hadn't worked on it in a long time. And like I said, I definitely went over that 1 hour time period I had slotted for my temperature stitching, which is why I didn't get quite as much done on my full coverage as I would have liked, but I don't even care. It's so good. Okay, so the last one that I worked on was Butterfly Bouquet, and this is a design by Sprouting Lupine. This is part of a stitch along hosted by Catherine Stitching Chronicles and Clancy's X Stitch on Instagram. Catherine has both YouTube and Instagram. So I got another 719 stitches in on this. I mainly focused on this butterfly here, so that is done minus the back stitch. So I've got like 3 motifs done. This is at about 17%. And I would like to get, there is a motif right, that's gonna be hard to hold up, but right here, there's a butterfly and then a flower. I would like to get that in this week, honestly, before Valentine's Day. And once Valentine's Day hits, this will just be relegated to a temperature piece for a while. But it's so beautiful. Again, outside of my norm. I'm not a paint girly, but it's fun. It's fun to stitch outside of your comfort zone every once in a while. And I took this to my stitching day. So we met up in November with, so Erin the Hiking Stitcher on YouTube and the Walking in Stitches on Instagram. She put this together, a stitching day over in Culpeper, Virginia, which is about like an hour from me where I am in Virginia. But it's a cute little brewery that we go to, brewery/winery, I guess. They've got great food, good drinks, and it was so great to meet up with all the stitchers again this month. Our January one had to get postponed for snow, or the threat of snow, but I was really excited to meet up with everyone again. We had quite a few more people come in, and when I brought my sweater actually that I'm working on, that I'm knitting, and the Griffin Stitcher on Instagram, CJ, she owns a yarn shop up in Vienna, Virginia called The Red Fox. And she was really helpful with the issue I was having with the sweater, or at least allaying my concerns that I didn't really have an issue that I thought I did. But it was great to see them all. I was very excited. Our next one is like March 23rd, I think. Follow on Instagram and I'll post when we get closer to it, but it's towards the end of March is our next one. If you're in the DMV area and you'd like to come stitch with us. Very fun, very nice to talk to other stitchers. as always, and see what everyone's working on. But this is the one that I brought, and I got, I think, like 300 stitches in on that day, so I made some decent progress. But it's so pretty. So many people have made so much good progress on this. I mean, just go check over on Instagram, and it's lovely. So that's everything I worked on. Again, I mean, not as much as usual, but I'm not unhappy with all the progress that I made. I touched a lot of different things, so that's good. But my plans, so continuing temperature stitching. So I'll have 2 projects to show in my next video. I've been on like a 2-week cadence, like every 2 weeks. Obviously keeping my full coverage up. Butterfly bouquet, I just mentioned I want to get another motif in. Might put the stocking down. I would like to get Emerging Queendom, the Reluctant Sovereign. I'd like to get more of that one done and possibly pull out my other Whip Go Gold. This might be a lofty amount of projects before my next video, but my other Whip Go call is for a kitted project. So I chose Vase with Hydrangeas, and I explained kind of why I chose that one. It's not my favorite to stitch on, but I want the finished piece. Whereas like Wisteria, which is the other option I had, I enjoy stitching on much more. So I want to get Vase with Hydrangeas done and enjoy the process more with Wisteria. So that is what I chose. I would really like to get the Secret Grove back out. I was a little bit disappointed I didn't work on that at all in these last 2 weeks. Again, I just all over the place emotionally, so that's okay. Anyway, on to the biggest, most exciting thing. So thank you again, everyone. I have surpassed 1,500 subscribers, which is mind-blowing and so exciting. But I did a giveaway in my last video. So the 2 prizes were, if you had Mira or Mirabilia in your comment, I put you in and I will send you a Mirabilia pattern of your choice from 123 Stitch. And the other one was, if you had Winter in your comment, I was going to give you a $25 gift card to the needlework store of your choice, or Etsy, something like that. So I actually, because I, hit 1,500 after the video, I was close to it. I just pulled another for the Mirabilia. So I have 2 giveaway winners for a Mirabilia pattern. I will not contact you if you won, but I have an email. It's becca.is.stitching@gmail.com. Please reach out to me there and we will work out what pattern you want and I will send it to you. So the winners, the first Mira winner is Trisha Knits 5441. I'll put the comment up here. And the second unexpected winner is Lisa Law Girl. Again, the comment I'll put right up here. So congratulations, reach out to me and we will pick you a Mira pattern to start. And the next one, so the winner of the $25 gift card is Rach Cross Stitch. So again, reach out to me. That one's really easy. All I need is your, I think, email probably for that. So very exciting that I was able to do my first giveaway. I loved that. I love reading through all your comments. Please keep them coming. A few shout outs. So these are all the people that have shouted me out in particular. So I'm just gonna kind of run through them. The Carolina Stitchers, Joy and Emma, wonderful. I've been watching them forever. So they have like in their description box, the Flosstubers they've been watching. So that was really exciting that they watched my video. So hello, if you're watching, I love your channel. The next is Stitchin' in Oregon with Brandy. She's working on like a little bit of everything. She's been doing Flosstube for over a year. Go check her out. The next is the Snitch Stitcher. I've been following her on Instagram for a really long time. She does What the Flock Fridays, so it's fun to watch her. She pulls out like a flamingo project every Friday to work out, and that's really fun to work on. So that's really fun. The next was the Alchemist Stitcher. She's actually also working on Succubus, so it was kind of exciting to see her progress and all of her other beautiful projects that she's got going on. Next was Court Designs. She just finished a lot of those Lola Crow ornaments. They're so adorable. I think she's gonna do like a scrapbooking thing with those. And she's also very into musical theater, which is wonderful. I was a musical theater person in high school, so I definitely can relate to the love of musicals. She gives a like fun fact for a musical at the beginning of her video, so that was really fun to listen to. The last one is Katie of Jeremiah's mom. She just started hers, and one of the things she said in her video was this whole community is like friends from the safety of your house, and I really resonated with that. I love my house. I love talking to everybody, but like even going to the in-stitching day, it's still kind of like draining just to be out there, be in person. As wonderful as it is, right? Like I'm definitely going to keep going and I love it so much, but like I need a day to decompress after in-person socialization. So that's really a great part of this community. She does a lot of challenges. She's got a ton of projects going. She's lovely. So that is it for the stitching. I really am trying to speed up my stitching videos. I don't need like an hour-long video every 2 weeks. That's too much. I don't work on that much stuff. I just work on apparently a lot of things that I like to chat about. Very chatty. So just switching quickly over to knitting. We'll start with this one. So my sweater, I was having an issue because and this is how I do sweaters. So Elizabeth Ann can stitch. I'll mention her also. When she's working on sleeves, she puts her sweater in a bowl and then she turns the bowl as she's working on her sleeve, and it was genius and saves my life on sleeves. So definitely try that out and go watch her channel. She does so much knitting stuff, especially, but quilting, sewing, cross stitch, lovely, wonderful. Go follow her. If you're not following her, please do. So I was having an issue with my sweater. I've made a lot of progress. So again, finding the front of it. So this is the Melange sweater by Petite Knit, and I'm doing it in Tin Pure Gint, held double. So it's 2 balls held double, light fingering weight to get this kind of marling effect. I have both sleeves on and started. I was having an issue though, so like this seam here, again, it's so hard to tell with this patterning, but there's a seam right here where you add in the sleeve, and it was like it was rolled under so hard. I think I just like was too tight when I was going back and forth at the end of my rows, so it really rolled under. So when I was doing the sleeve, it was like turtled in. So like I'd have this much sleeve done and you'd only see like this much of it because so much of it was like rolled back into fabric, and I couldn't get a good read on if it was going to, fit appropriately. So what I did is I did a mid-project block, and I'll actually put a picture up here of what that looked like. And I think like the drape of it now is kind of wonderful, and we've got both sleeves. Start trying to get all of that on the screen, but we've got both sleeves started. And I got a little bit more of the body done. I'm definitely going to, my husband got like broad shoulders, so I went for the one that would fit his upper body, but now I'm worried that like the body is going to be huge on him, so I am going to have to taper the body down as I get farther down. I might need to rip some of that back just to add that in, but it's coming along. It feels wonderful, and I'm very happy that I did that mid-project block to allay my concerns. But because of the mid-project block, I didn't have knitting on the go, and I really wanted to knit on Saturday night. My husband and I watch TV, and I don't cross-stitch when we watch TV together because I need the big light, and he hates the way it reflects off the TV, which, fair enough, it's very distracting. So I usually knit when we watch TV together, but I had done this sock in the Raspberry colorway, the sock base from Forbidden Fiber Co. It's beautiful yarn. I love it. And so I finished this sock back in December, and I never cast on my second sock. So on Saturday, I cast on my sock. I got all of this done. I got down to the heel flap part of it, so this part back here, and I started that in one night, in not that long of a time. Socks are and I'm discovering this for me, I don't love stitching them because I don't really have a need for that many socks in my life, but they're so potato chippy because especially I'm doing the Crazy Sock Lady vanilla sock pattern, but I've shortened obviously the length quite a bit. So I'm doing a short crew sock length. So, you know, you have the ribbing and then you do a little bit after the ribbing. And then I start with a bigger, that's not important. So then I do a little bit of regular stitching here, and then you do the heel flap, and then you get into the, right when you're getting sick of that, you get into the heel turn. And then when you're getting not sick of that, but right when you're done with that, you go into the decreases for the gusset area here. And then the most boring part for me is just getting to the decreases of the toe. But even then, I think I only have like 15-ish more rounds before I get to the decrease. So I'm definitely gonna finish this week. It was an unexpected start. So glad I just got it on the needles because this one sock has just been sitting there staring at me for over a month now. So I'm really happy that I was able to get that started. I'm gonna finish it this week, get that off my mind, and probably start a hat for my dad. I made everybody else hats for Christmas and I didn't make him one. I just ran out of time. So I do plan to do that, but I got this lovely yarn bowl, and this is the yarn that I've been using from Forbidden Fiber Co. So I still have quite a bit of it left. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the scraps of that, but I'm sure it'll go with something eventually. But I got this at, she no longer has a store, but it was called the Wicked Stitch. I think she sells online still. And she dyed her own yarns in North Carolina near where my mother-in-law lived. But this was my mother-in-law's Christmas gift to me. It's very cute. I love it, a little cauldron. So that is it for cross-stitching and knitting and reading. I finally finished Wind and Truth, and once I finished Wind and Truth, I think I've read 3 or 4 more books since then. So I read a thriller, The Killing Cold, or A Killing Cold. I read a romantasy book, which was, what is that called? The Serpent and the Wings of Night, or something like that, by Carissa Broadbent. I'll put that on screen. I have since started the novella after that first book in the series. I also read 5 Broken Blades and have started the sequel to that book. And I think that's going to be a trilogy. The 3rd one is coming out later this year. But been very exciting to get back into some reading. I missed it. I had put it down for a while to focus solely on Wind and Truth because I just wanted to really enjoy the experience. I loved it. I can't believe it's going to be like 10 years before we get another Stormlight Archive book, and that hurts my soul. But that's okay. We'll make it through. I can just reread all his works and it'll take me up to 10 years anyway. So that's about it. I know I talked fast today. Again, I'm trying to shorten the length of these videos a little bit. We all have super long lists of things to watch. Thank you for being here. Please have the best day that you can. Do something for yourself today, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.